my father, he didn't graduate from high school. He couldn't read or write, so he was dumb. Yeah. And so when I came out looking like him, oh, you so dumb and this, that, and I actually thought that for years. And I was in middle school. And I'll never forget, I was told I was dumb all my life, so I started skipping class a lot. Every chance I got, I would skip class. Yeah. Well, there was this one particular class. Well, let me back up. When I was in elementary school, I had issues with math. They used to call, and they had this special class called Chapter 1 Reading, Chapter 1 Math. Yeah. When I was in school. And they automatically put me in the reading class, even though I needed help with math. Yeah. So when I got to middle school, they, put me in Chapter 1 reading. They didn't have Chapter 1 math. So I found out that not only could I read and was the fastest and, reader in the class, I had an A. Yeah. And so I begged the lady, hey, can I take a test to get out of here? And she said, oh, no, you go to the regular class. You don't do well, you're going to end up flunking, and you have to take it all over. I mean, she was really adamant, and I kept going to her every day. So one day she was like, look, I'm going to give you this test, and if you don't pass it, then, and I was like, okay, well, just give me the test. Took the test, went to regular class, skipped regular class all the time. Had an A, even though I was skipping all the time. Yeah. And then it was like, this girl needs to be in advanced classes. So the next year, they put me in all advancst classes.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So I spent 3 years in special Chapter 1 reading and a year or two in Chapter 1 math, and end up being skipped to all advanced and honors classes.
Yeah. But that right there should have helped your confidence, though. It's like, still, I know it was like drilled and concrete in you, but
let me tell you what was the difference. We serve a God that is so amazing. Yep. And even when people are not treating us right, he will bring total strangers along that will fill in the blanks. So I'm in school, I'm skipping class, I'm, doing all kinds of things that I ain't had no business doing. And the assistant principal took a liking to me. He saw something in me that was different from everybody else. And he took me under his wing. So much so, he would come to my classes and sit there to make sure that I stayed in my classes. He would check in with my teachers from time to time and see how my grades were doing. And, he didn't have to do that. And I didn't see any other kid that he did that for. But he saw something in me that was different from everybody else. Yeah. Not only did he see it, God placed certain teachers in my life. Yep. And so before school started, when all the kids were in the gym, and the fights would break out and all kinds of things like that. And these were all white teachers. Yeah. White principal. Yeah. White teacher would say, hey, won't you come to my class in the mornings, meet me, and, help me take my stuff to the classroom. So I would go to the classroom and clean the chalkboard and things of that sort. And she kept me out of trouble. She kept me away from all the fights and everything else. And then they began to speak, you're really smart. You really should start, putting the effort into your classes. Wasn't hearing this at home, and they literally, even to the point when I went off to high school, that assistant principal, he kept in contact with me. Oh, wow. All throughout high school until I graduated, became grown, and then his wife was like, no, y'all can't be friends no more. But he, and even some of the teachers kept in touch with me from middle school, because when I tell you the devil was so adamant in trying to create an alternate path for me, I had one teacher say, you are never going to amount to anything. I had another teacher when Murphy's supposed to be the, big school back in the day. And I wanted to go to the Murphy orientation for 8th graders to see, I want to go to Murphy. Yeah. And the counselor said, you're not Murphy material.
Oh, wow.
And she refused. That's disrespectful. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She refused to let me go to the orientation. Not only did I go to Murphy, graduated from Murphy, took honors classes at Murphy. I spoke at Murphy's graduation.
Oh, wow.
But what if I would have, listened to,
that
you're not Murphy material. I already had a parent at home telling me I'm dumb and I'm stupid. So, being confident in the skin that you're in, it goes beyond that look, And
a lot of people don't understand that confidence actually comes from self-hurt. Mm-hmm. No matter what you've been through, a lot of people go through, like me and you. Mm-hmm. We got different stories, but they're so similar, and confidence doesn't just come from, like you said, it's a beauty that's within. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people don't understand how many codes you had in your past, and you turn all that stuff that was against you. You nailed on those codes until they turn into a diamond, and the diamond is you. Mm-hmm. Yes. And you're shining. You got this podcast, girl. You're doing, and the stuff that you've been through. I always tell people, you never take stuff that you've been through as something that's like a disappointment. Mm-hmm. You always take that and you look past it. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's somewhere I came from.
I see them as stumbling blocks. Whenever you have somebody that says you can't do something, you're not this, you're not that, they're actually trying to stop the direction of a path that you're supposed to go in. Yeah. And I really feel like, I'm a Christian, so, I talk about God, but I really feel like the devil has an inkling as to who you are too. Yeah. So then he set these people up. Oh, girl, you done. You can't go to Murphy. You can't do this. You can't do that. And when I went to Murphy, there was another teacher, God is so awesome, that took me under her wing. Yeah. And she, helped, I found out that I had a knack for public speaking. Yeah. And she, helped me get into oratorical contests and helped me, get into different avenues that opened up a door for me to go to college and all of these. But what if I would have listened to the lady back in middle school that said, you're not Murphy material.
You sound like me with Mr. Barron. Mm-hmm. He was my music instructor when I went to Denton Middle School. Okay. And I used to go to him for everything. Mm-hmm. Go for everything. And to this day, I still talk to Mr. Barron. Mm-hmm. And the way you said you have people that kind of like brought you out of it, music kind of brought me out of it. And everything I did with music, I played in a band. I won medals and everything. And I couldn't afford to go to college because, like I said, I was doing everything myself. Mm-hmm. Got me a scholarship from college. Mr. Smith helped teach me certain things when I was at Murphy High School. Mm-hmm. Taught me certain things. Yeah, I graduated from Murphy. All right. Everybody in my family graduated from BC Rain. Okay. And me and my aunt were the only two that graduated from Murphy. I think that's funny. And so he helped me with music and stuff like that, and I got attached to him. And he helped me get through all these. He said, hey, India, you're going to sit down with all these people that's coming here, and you're going to audition for everybody. Mm-hmm. And I auditioned, and each one I got better with it. Mm-hmm. And then I ended up going to A&M. Awesome. I had the most money for A&M. So, and I got up there, girl, that was a whole nother life. I was not prepared for that. Yeah. And it's just something about musicians. We kind of all are anybody that has, I guess you would say, a love brain. Mm-hmm. It's just brain for creativity. Creativity, yeah. Mm-hmm. And kind of just a lot of people that's creative has been through something. I'm sorry. Did we skip another commercial break? Go ahead. Well, no, we're almost out of time. But keep going. No! Wow, we didn't even get to what we were supposed to get to today.
That's fine because I think I'm the type of person. We'll have an agenda, but like I said, we're going to follow the rabbit trail because I believe whatever we talk about, it's going to be God ordained and it's going to bless somebody.
Yeah, it is. I'm just glad to have this opportunity with you, girl. Yeah. But
come on, keep going. If I need to.
Oh, my bad. So, I don't know. When I got to A&M, my section kind of kept me together, my baritone section. Mm-hmm. They kept me together, girl. And I didn't really have like the directors and stuff because they're like, they got a lot going on. Mm-hmm. I could have always walked into their office, of course, but I just hung out with my section and they were so open-hearted on a lot of situations. Mm-hmm. And that's what kept me together then. So, like you said, you have people that was in your life to kind of guide you and help you. And I had the same thing. And if we would have turned that corner and said no to somebody that was trying to help us, no telling what we would have been right now.
Yeah. In our women's fellowship years ago, my first lady said, there are a lot of us women that grew up without a father in the home. But what we fail to realize is that even though we may not had our biological father in our home, God still made sure we had a man in our life or someone in our life to help guide us. Yeah. Because a lot of times that's where a lot of our issues come from as women. Our dads were not there. Yeah. They didn't teach us, a dad teaches their daughter how a man is supposed to treat them. They, help build their self-confidence. They, reassure, their financial backing. They protect them. And when you don't have that in your life, you feel like you're missing something, or you feel like, I don't have that, so I'm less than, my counterparts. But she said, but just think about the person that was there, that God, gave you whatever you needed. And, and I thought about my uncles. My uncles were my protection.
Yeah, my cousin was mine.
my uncles provided that assurance in me. I can remember they were wrestling with me, and I was like 10, and they was like, we wrestling with you because you gonna be able to protect yourself. You gonna be doing this and doing that. And I was like, y'all grown men picking on me. I'm 10, but in their way, they was trying to teach me. And even to this day, if I pick up my phone, even though I'm married, grown with a family of my own, if I call my uncle and say, hey, I need, or my car has stopped working, he gonna, if he's in town, he gonna get to me. He gonna make sure, and all of them, they're gonna make sure I'm good. So God still made sure that we had that protection. Yeah. God still made sure that we had a group of people to help build what was not there, what was supposed to be there. Yeah. And it's a pleasure knowing you. Now let's get into the calendars. I know we're over time. We're not even gonna look at that. I got this. So Miss India has created a calendar called Be Confident in the Skin That You're In. Tell us about that calendar.
So last year, well, not last year, it's 2020. Year before that, I turned 30. When I turned 30, I dare myself each year for my birthday. Dare myself to go outside of my own fears. And when I turned 30, it was a big thing. I was like, I'm going to do a lingerie photo shoot. And I was like, I told my boyfriend, are you okay at that? And he was like, I don't care, because he's loving the person I'm becoming. I was not this person when I met him back in college. Okay. So I was like, I'm going to do one. I said, I'm scared, super scared, but I'm going to do one. So I did the shoot, and I thought I was just going to keep it to myself. My boy was like, no, post it on social media. You want me to post this on social media? And he was like, India, you're not seeing what I see. Wow. He's like, post this on social media. So I posted, and I thought I was going to have, all kinds of guys in the DM and all stuff like that. It was totally the opposite. Wow. I had women telling me their stories. They told me that they seen myself confident. They seen how confident I became in the pictures that I posted. And telling me their stories about, domestic violence and stuff they went through. Some had to literally fight for their lives. And some men was telling me some stories about, I thought the man was after a few men that kind of got in my DMs, they was telling me about them and, the baby mama they was with and them fighting for their child's custody and all kinds of stuff. Wow. And I was like, oh, wow. It all came from me posting myself, I say half naked on, social media. And I was like, maybe I should do a calendar. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do a calendar, not for myself. I said, let me do a casting call and grab women that looks like normal people that has been through stuff in their life, and they found themselves within the things that they've been through. They found self-confidence, they found self-love, all that stuff within the process and the trials that they went through. So the calendar is, we have their stories, we have the women, they're like they're average women. Average women, plus size, skinny, some that has freckles in their face. They got a little dimple on the side of their leg. And they're just regular people And I paid for their makeup. I paid to get their hair done. I paid to do the photo shoot. I had my photographer come in from Denver, Colorado, to do the photography.